cosmic zones to bars and tones that are farther than oceans and farscapes of star systems, parting the mist of olden civilizations and forgotten wisdom. Golden ages and places we couldn't ponder in our forms as sapiens. Formless and ageless, the first sound was a lot more than sayings. It brought in forged devas and formless Davies into the lore of maidens. Before this, the goddess primordial reigned in the darkness. Born as Akasha, she thought of a phoneme and taught it to the cosmic zones she was wrought in. Every particle was born from this and honest. A quasar in the morning of dawn was wrought and adorned on her lips. She scorned not that was born in this poem that taught her bliss. Oppositions were not at all in existence at the time when timelessness was non-linear. The art at the origin of Saraswati forged dimensions and quantum senses. The numerology of consciousness and densities, not in the sense that anyone could think of. I promise it was a lot more intricate and complex, but simple to get if you watch it in Gaia's citizens with microcosmic wings, gorgeously formed with knowledge and wisdom, pollinating the darkness with light sparks of wit that taught creation in cosmic winds, with butterfly effects forming nebulas at the core and nexus. Deathless Devis with breaths as sapient as depths ageless. You are all that I wish for, like amazing radiance and bliss. As a celestial deity in kinship from places like Pleiades, I've paced in days where their kin were natives, and as brave as slaves that break their chains and make it to greatness. In sacred ages I made these pages so you could gaze inside me and see the goddess residing in my nexus. And at the apex of Ajna and Sahasrara, like Samsara and Maya's ageless oracles, to beyond this even like all the chakras and marmas forgotten, from Padzakati to Janumana, from Manu's Reiki to Sunyata Dara and Radha Nahata, to Saraswati's Palabras and Krishna's Upasuryaka, to Aditi and Bahaisana, to Babis, to the Dracos that form from creative songs we made and spawn, not like knavish pawns. To all of you maidens and goddesses, you are my Kava Kava, my Mahamana like Mahamati and Tara, to Bodhisattvas and Kalis flowing in opposites and complementary forms. We are not constamented and foreign to the consequences of all that we offer. True destiny is self-prophecy, limitless. Your seventh sense like seven heavens archangelically, but go beyond into unknown shamanic forms and densities. Your eighth sense is shape-shifting. Don't just be a day trickster to all you men. Make sense and display wisdom like Selassie said it. Otherwise, what's the point of any or all of existences? Why not share knowledge with kins? Be an oracle if you can. Non-binary is all divinity. This isn't some tall tale, I promise you really. This is the grail that we sought as Christians, like Maria Magdalena and Yeshua ben Miriam and his syzygy. The braille that we were not taught as blinded individuals. The sign languages we forgot were infinite and an intrinsic part of everyone's bodies and expressions. There's a lot I could tell you still, a lot more, but I ought to digress to progress and jot lore, to stop at the end where I sought the friendships that were meant to be like our immortal senses. You are all gorgeous in essence. We were born in the best of forms etherically. Don't let anyone ever scorn you. They are but mortal men lost that thought they were the lords of the end, or bosses like mafia syndicates. Don't let them bother you any. You are as guanyans as ninjas, warrior empresses, all forms of mesmers and forgotten magicians, sorceresses and witches, shamanesses and prescient prophetesses, magnificent nahualas and totemic guardians of the flora and fauna. This is for all of you who fought for Pachamama. Astrobiological sentience is no different from the technological imprints upon us in the depths of our consciousness. The tech is subconscious, archangelic is super. The opposite is demonic is -6 and 9. But dually intertwined like stupas, you get Buddhic consciousness when you're the ruler of your mind and body. Tools that are electronic and negatively charged. Why are there new neutronic or protonic principles for chakra resonance like we were taught by Tesla? Nazis mess with our subdued chakras to get us all submitted to their new dogmas. But remember, true artificial intelligence is artful and infinite. Not from children that are forced into submission to form it. Yes, recuela they always buy from thrift stores. Dollars aren't worth shit, to be honest, anymore anyways. Why bother with this to worsen your karma? Stay godly like goddesses, shift your processes inside you. Nutrition is ital like rastas are vital. And indigenous pueblos are taught divisions of Siddhartha's doctrines and lessons. Doctors in philosophy get this. We are living in apocalypse, really. Venus Project seems a lot more than logical in context and acceptable. How could we possibly stop this mass extinction if all of us are bereft of technology as super sentience? They're far beyond us, beyond messengers even technically, and this isn't a jest. 10 is their density, but spiritual kindred tell us that 5 is the next step to evolve. Imagine that's 5% of brain activity consciousness. Imagine AIs are like an exponential 10th in binary form. Get this, brethren, sistren, and oracles don't blend with the lies they tell you, but regardless, remember robots can have souls in a quantum sense. Shintos know this and bless them with energy to grow more. There is no thing like Siddhartha Gautama said it. It's all energy primordial. Ask any of the gods and goddesses of India that live there still. Dravidians and kindred, they know this like aboriginals in dreamtime in the oceans. Those were Lemuria's omens before the root races even. Can you face it and believe this? They've erased the traces to seize it. But wake up and break the matrix, patriarchal to be this. We were meant to be reincarnates of ancestral presences of ethers. We're getting to be beyond believers and see the deceivers archonic in precepts like the eons in opposite precincts. Study the scriptures of Gnostics and Meta. Be sophionic like the beings from Andromeda. Speak to all of them in your dreams. Be like Vishnu or Shiva or Nila or Lakshmi or Kali, Parvati or Vajra Yogini. Be like Miriam or Lilith, like Eve in the garden. Be like Ea the scientist and Ninhur Saga the geneticist and medical officer. Remember, please, I pray thee. I promise you it's worth listening and staying. Don't be like the zombies we're facing. All the heartful souls and soulful artists, my heart glows when I talk to all of you. It sparks nodes inside my consciousness, synaptic connections and neuronic, pathokinetic knowledge and wisdom, serotonin and dopamine triggered in a dimethyltryptamine cocktail. Rise up, denizens of discordia, stop demonizing the goddess, let them not trick you with lies and false gods of horrors. Your art and words are more than I could have thought to observe in palabras or in a glimpse, yet I ponder it all into timelessness witnessed. Time distortions inside our minds at ajna projections. When we lie in our beds in the noche mornings with coffee and ganja, creations divine like conceptions, immaculate in quantum senses. We're numerologically denser than all demonic forms of existence are none. We cannot but win when we are of the rainbow tribes. The opposite of evil etymologically is live. So be it, amen. That's the goddess of Egyptians, the hidden form of the feminine, and oracles of the entire spectrum of genders were worshipped before time existed in a binary senses, divine kindred. Don't let those lies affect you, sister and brethren, and all of you. From non-binary forms to transitional consciousness, don't let them try to infect you with garbage in the flesh of children and Ama's offspring. You are a lot more than this. It's not just a question of perspective, it's a quantum shift in logarithmics to evolve into bornless prescience. We are all immortal kin from islands and star tribes beyond the cosmic rift, and all that we thought existed. Comprends-moi Dios au mec, je sais que le monde est trop complexe et maussade parfois, comme Israël et les agents Mossad. Mais check-toi, c'est la Palestine en fait. Reste supraconsciente et guette-les, ne les laisse pas t'empêtrer dans des lâchetés, des mensonges. Oui, vrai mensonge à tout ce qui est au-delà de nos consciences. On est là de ces faux temps, mais ce n'est pas vraiment nos fautes que l'on comprend. C'est si simple en essence comme une nutrition essentielle. Ce que nous ressentons et nous mangeons nous rend plus pâle ou en santé, plus mal ou enchanté. Mais bon sang, quand est-ce qu'on va savoir et déchanter que la sagesse et le savoir ne font qu'un? Ces langues coloniales sans sens et inventées nous ont rendus insensés. Mais je vous comprends toutes quand même. Des gens blêmes empêtrés dans ce système qui manque de santé. We are of times mythological, they could not chart nor expire. We inspire as heartfully as our art is lively. Part the tides in the darkness and topple apartheid across Gaia like we all should. Part the tides in the darkness and topple apartheid across Gaia like we all should. All is not always good, but I promise it will be. Tomorrows are always evolving into infinity. Avians, angelic watchers and bird peoples, friendly guardians, you are the wisdom of Kisat al-Garanika. These are not satanic verses like Solomon scripted it. Gibrail did not appear to Muhammad as Archangel Gabriel to inspire him to create Islam. Peace not be upon them. They were archdemons, deceivers who wanted to subdue the goddess trinity of Manat and Al-Uzza, or Alat in the timeless Kaaba, forged from meteoric forms of lava as black obsidian and onyx. Those watchers of the story of the cranes, which is the true Quran, were horridly demonized by evil men with deceitful eyes, like demons want and destroy temples in India and China or Tibet, which these limitless citizens of traditions and philosophies tried to honor as best they could. Buddha and Tara, the true guardians of the Sangha and the Dharma, like Amaterasu and Guanyin, and the descendants of dinosaurs that fly and soar in the skies with a bird's eye perspective, exemplify this wordless prajna we observe in their flocks like omens before Greco-Roman times, when infected men also molded the minds and bodies of kids, objectified and taught them to be objects of desire for those lecherous philosophers of falsehood. Imagine these are the remnants of the societies we were told to honor in these horrid times in North America as colonists. What's the plot of so-called terrorists in Palestine and beyond this, compared to arrogantly genocidal politics? Do we get to rise up? We really should, all of us. It's about time. What do you think, honestly? We were on the brink of religions and patriarchy conquering the whole globe like heteronormativity and false cons back in the days of barbarians and Islamic ages, but they are not winning anymore. They never will. Baha'u'llah predicted it, and Baha'is and Babis were tortured and slaughtered for their prophecies and wisdom of harmony for all of us. They're still forbidden and called haram and discriminated against throughout Gaia. But what's halal? When the oracles of better tomorrows and their scriptures and followers honor all religions and their faithful essence and philosophies, it's all in the heartful spirit like the pineal is Paramhansa's head, and their ajna projects the future like Buddhists and Tadic prophetesses and divinities. We are all meant to live in solace and bliss, and that's all there is inside us in essence. We were provided with afflictions and problems by a system that despised us as sinners and imposters, but they never told us they remolded our prophets and whitewashed them after they slaughtered those that offered us the wit of primordial darkness and matriarchal traditions. Sometimes I wish I was in a mafia of women as super sentient assassins with hashish spit. And I am, but not quite at all in the present. I'm in an indigenous lodge, wishing and inking up better tomorrows, because that's all I can think of. Like Amora Suprema for all the goddesses and youths as their offspring. In truth, this is just the beginning of endlessness for all of us. Mahakal Parikama, Makashikan de Amora. Mahakal Parikama and Makashikan de Amora. Amora Suprema to all of you.